Hey y'all, what's up? This is the I Just Think It's Funny podcast. I'm Destiny.
And I'm Brianna, and we've got some things to get off our chest because sometimes you just got to talk it out with your girlfriends.
Y'all feel it in. Girlfriends! Hopefully y'all sang along to that. I don't know. Let me know if you sang along. Who knows?
I think at this point, like people probably like catch on, sing along, in their car or something.
Hopefully.
I would like to think that.
If y'all singing along, please like make a reel or Instagram video post, story, tag us. We want to see the girlfriends and the non-girlfriends singing along. So, it's the 1st of December.
Oof.
We have 1 month left in the year, which means we have how many days? December is 30 days, right? Or
31.
Okay, so which means we have 30 days left. I never can remember who has it. December 31st. Yes, because then it's January 1st. Okay, which means we have 30 days left in the year. So we got time to get ourselves together if possible. But for right now, we're gonna focus on the right now. So how are you feeling?
Tired in every sense of the word. This has been a long year. In the past few months, I've just been getting more increasingly tired. Like I'm just exhausted. Like my body's tired, my mind's tired. Like everything about me is just tired. So it's really hard to be like motivated to do stuff because it's like I'm doing all of this stuff that I don't want to do. So it's hard to be like, yay, the new year, yay, this, yay, holidays. I'm just like, I just want to sit down. I just want to go sleep.
I just want to do nothing for once.
Please, like I just want to get some like legit sleep. I haven't had real sleep. I don't even know. It's been a couple of months now. I haven't had like actual sleep. So I'm like, I just need some sleep. That's what I'm looking forward to is sleep. Literally just looking forward to sleep.
That's good. Because you have 2 weeks off soon, so.
Yes, I have 2 weeks off soon. I will be sleeping at least one of those weeks.
That's good. I have 0 days off.
I hope you can find some time to take because you need it.
I feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like I'm on the verge of like breaking down, but not like mentally breaking down, but just like me as a person, like just collapsing because it's been go since this pandemic. And, when you don't work for yourself, you obviously are working for other people, and other people don't care how you get it done as long as you get the job done. And I think that's really burning a hole through me. Like, yes, I'm grateful to have a job in this pandemic, which is a blessing. Like, that's not a complaint of mine at all. However, I just feel like, and I feel like everyone's feeling this, like you're feeling tired. I think employers are not taking into account that there's a lot going on. Like a lot. Mentally, you're trying to make sure you're staying present. Because, you don't know if someone's dealing with like mental health issues or anything, or something has developed over just the stress. And it's like they just expect you to show up to work and to bring 1,000% every day. And it's like, no, I have nothing. What did Whitney say? I have nothing, nothing, nothing. I have nothing. Like,
I want you to pull from some reserve you don't even have. And you're just like, oh, that's why I hate back to our good old Zoom. When you hop on Zoom, they're like, how's everyone doing? You guys all just look so tired and out of it.
You get asked that?
And everyone just looks like we are. And
it'd be the people who make the most money who ask those questions.
Of course, because they have to keep morale high.
Morale is low.
Very.
Morale was low beforehand because we were already burnt out because of American capitalism. And now we burnt out because of American capitalism, and people are dying. And we're trying to figure out if we lose our job because People are out here just losing their jobs left and right because companies are falling through. Are we going to be next? And you probably have touched your savings during this. I know I certainly have, because things had to get taken care of. So I had to touch my savings. So I'm sitting here looking like,
That was my biggest fear. I was like, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to touch it. Thank God this year I did not have to touch my savings somehow. Um, but
it's a blessing.
yeah, I don't know how I did that one, but I didn't. And I was just like, whew. It was just so, I was just so happy knowing that it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know some people, they didn't plan for this. Some people don't know how to save or didn't save or couldn't save because they didn't have the money to save. So it's just kind of like, I'm sure that was really stressful.
Mm-hmm. And even beforehand, I had spoken with someone who's like in finances, and he was saying that like the average American does not have at least $400 in a savings account.
Mm.
I was just like, not even $400?
Oh, good. I think if you're over the age of 21, life hits you hard and you need over $400 in a savings account. Like, there are stuff that's going to come up in your 20s that you're not expecting.
Oh yeah,
Like, car stuff is probably the biggest thing.
that's just racist. I don't like that.
Home stuff, sometimes you have to leave, sometimes you have to break a lease, sometimes you have to put down deposits for new play. Like, there's real grown up health insurance, you lose that. Like, there's real life stuff that comes up in your 20s. You're gonna need more than $400 as a safety net. To have the rainy day fund.
Mhm. I've had
It's
some
a whole lot of rainy days.
this this year has been some unexpected expenses, like having to get a whole new laptop.
That
Oh,
too.
that was a necessity. That wasn't like something I wanted to just buy.
Right.
In a period, the computer is acting up, and it's like, well, what you gonna do? Because I was gonna try to extend it and get like an iPad Pro, and it's like, okay, I can do that, but didn't make any sense to get that if I had to get a whole
Might as
new.
well invest in the, yeah.
So yeah, life is just getting real, and I just need employers to understand that. Like honestly, I'm kind of, and I've spoken to other people, the whole pep talks that some of these not VPs, but the high CEOs and stuff are giving companies, it just be a lot of fluff. They just be, oh, we're
Well,
just
yeah, because they have to meet their bottom line, and a lot of times it's at the cost of your sanity, because it's kind of like they have quotas and deadlines to meet, especially by the end of the year. So they're just kind of like, so at that sense, I do get it. Like, the work still has to get done. The work is not going to slow down. Like, it still has to get done. But like, I just feel like certain companies have figured out ways, because like at the end of the day, like for me as a CEO, yes, I want the work done, because I'm the type of person, I could be a workaholic. Like, I can work around the clock, which is not healthy, but I can do that. But I also have realized that like you have to factor in, like, don't you want employee retention? Like, do you want people
you want people to stay.
leaving or dying? Like, when you're stressed and stuff like that, you get sick,
Mhm.
you just feel unmotivated. Like, I don't know, like, you have to make people feel like this, I'm doing all of this work and at least they care about me. Otherwise, you gonna leave.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather feel like I'm doing so much work, but at least I have a good team. At least my employer cares about me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to balance that out. Your employees are gonna be dropping dead, literally. Like, they will just.
And then too, it's like if employees don't feel appreciated, they're looking for the next opportunity to jump.
Oh,
Like it's
for sure. Next thing that comes up, that's what I mean. Employee retention. Like, you're not gonna. What's keeping me here?
right. It's true. It's so true. I think like a lot of entertainment companies need to revisit how they're treating like because I found out over the year that a lot of people who work at like these networks and different things like that, they're not staff or salary pay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know people just from different groups that I'm in who are assistants and maybe at agencies and stuff like that. They can't get overtime anymore because of the pandemic, but are expected to work these extended hours
Right.
because people think automatically because you're at home, you can drop everything, do what you need to do. And it's like, I feel like there's more things to be done just to upkeep you as a person when you're working from home. Like you have to prepare every meal or make sure you're fed, like all these different things. And I don't think people who are in these high places who have money just sitting there are thinking about this.
Yeah.
I
Especially people who have children at home.
right. Which is hard. I mean, thank God I don't have that. But like, I'm just very frustrated at this rate, honestly.
I
I'm kind
think a lot of people are very frustrated because, in theory, a lot of people, the work from home model sounds like a good idea. But
of
because these companies never had work from home for everybody on a consistent basis like this, they
mhm.
didn't approach it the right way. It was a reactionary thing. Like pandemic's happening, everyone's working from home. We still got to get stuff done. They didn't set a plan like, hey, we want to make sure that you're not overworked because working from home, you end up being overworked. You wake up early, you're not in your car, you're not going anywhere.
You're in your house all day, every day.
You wake up, you work super early, you don't even have to fully get dressed. Like, so you are just working, 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 working. You eat while you work. And then you stop working, like there's no clock in, clock. A lot of people don't clock in and clock out at work. Some people do online, but like a lot of the people, they just work through the night, wake up and repeat. Like there is no let me get back in my car and drive home. Some people, their drive back home was therapeutic.
I shoot, mine was like, let me turn on this music because something happened at work today, or this was a long day. I just need to like take a break, turn on my music, pretend like I'm in an R&B music video, and drive down the 101. I missed that
Yeah.
moment to breathe. Like you go in that elevator, press P2 or P whatever. It's like taking your bra off, except you haven't done that yet.
And
It
now the bra's just always off.
right. I'm
The
like,
bra's life is just always off now. And now you're like, maybe I want some support.
when do I actually put on a bra? I'm trying to think. Like, I'm on a sports bra right now because I'm gonna work out after this. But yeah, I be free nippling it. There's no reason
What
to.
makes you happy these days?
Like,
You know, and it's like it's sad to say, but I am sure that like I know alcohol use has gone up, but like I'm sure drug use has really gone up. Like I'm sure people are just good.
like when I went to the doctor, and I appreciate my doctor for asking this. Like she did like a check-in. Cause I realize now that they're kind of doing like mental health screenings when you go to like do your yearly checkup. And I mean, you don't realize it till later. You're like, oh, they're just making sure I was okay. She was like, so has any alcohol increase happened? You started drinking a little more. I said, nah, girl, I should though. I didn't say that, but I was like, no. She was like, what about drugs, marijuana, anything? I was like, no, thought about it, but no.
A lot of
No.
people are not about it.
Like every other day, I'm like,
I
man.
feel like, and this is just so bad, but every day that I'm like tired or anxious or stressed out or something, I'm just like, I understand people who turn to hardcore stuff because I'm like, I'm thankful for my mind and that I can pull myself out of certain situations because I just know that everyone's riding on thin ice. And if you can get something that's going to help you for a second, I understand how it happens.
Mhm.
But you really do get pushed to the edge.
We're always like, this is why I don't judge people who are addicts and whatnot, because like you said, we easily could be in that situation. All it takes is one stressor, whether it's like a major trauma, even a minor trauma could you just flip the switch. You're like, look, I can't take this anymore. So
Yeah.
like, I get it. I get it. I mean, I don't foresee myself dibbling. Nobody, I don't think anybody just wakes up and like, I'm going to become a crack addict today. I don't think anybody wakes.
I don't think so.
I
I don't
just think
think
it just kind of happens. Like
Yeah.
Like it just kind of
Nobody wants to be broken on the street and like strung out,
right.
but I mean, hey,
I get it.
sometimes
Like, don't do drugs, kids, but I
not
get
do drugs.
it.
Like I have always been super scared of like even like doctor prescribed like drugs like for like mental health. Like I've always been super scared of that because I know people that like sometimes it's a gateway to other stuff or like they're constantly like on a different planet. And so like I was like I never want to be like not present like because I have to rely on some sort of drug for that. And so right now I'm having trouble with sleeping. I
Mm.
don't want sleep pills because I was like, I know some people have had some serious issues with sleep pills. I'm like, I do not want to have to rely on sleep pills. So I was like, maybe I could take melatonin. I was really against melatonin. I'm like, I don't want anything. Like tea doesn't help me, sleepy time tea, that stuff does nothing for me. Like, but I'm gonna try some melatonin and I just ordered some and see if it helps because I cannot deep sleep.
Maybe I had a little issue of that like my senior year of college. I think it was just anxiety and just a lot of things happening. ZQL, I made sure I did not take it like every night.
But I
Z-
can't take that stuff. I've tried that. I can't take that
not
stuff
ZQL,
because
not NyQuil, but
yes,
ZQL.
I've tried that stuff. I don't like the effect
Oh yeah, it
later.
had me out. I was just like, ugh.
I don't like the grog. I need something that like I could be in a deep sleep. I will sleep uninterrupted. Like right now, I wake up every couple of hours and I'm wide awake, but I'm tired, but I'm wide awake. But like I need something that's gonna help me sleep. But then when I do get up, I can't be groggy. There's like I can't have that feeling. I gotta work.
No, I feel that. What you should do, because I was kind of talking to my doctor about my sleep kind of being irregulated. Because I find myself like staying up. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm so sleepy and be just like chilling or whatever, but then like stay up another 4 hours. And then now I'm like, woo, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You have to create a rhythm. It's just our bodies are out of rhythm. Like stress is throwing it off. Looking at these screens all day. Like I literally look at a screen from now until I get ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
And because um half of my team is on the West Coast, it's like I'm looking at a screen till 9 o'clock at night. And I don't know if they realize that. Like as soon as I send the last like email text, it's like I'm going to bed. So it's like my whole life like clock of like, okay, eat dinner, do this, do that. That's off. So like I think what we're missing is like a rhythm.
Yeah.
Humans are like what's the word? Habit. What's the I used to say this. I can't remember. But either way, humans depend on habit. Like if you think about everything we do, it's based off of an habit that we have. Working out, it's the habit of doing it. You get used to it, so it becomes a habit for you. Doing drugs, you try it, it becomes a habit. Like, you know what I mean? So you might have to actually start coming up with a routine, like a nighttime routine. Because my doctor is saying to take, you need at least 30 minutes before you go to bed without screen time. So that means no phone, no computer, even no TV, like complete. So whether that means you read, you meditate, take a bubble bath. As far as alcohol, like drinking that, don't drink that before going to bed because that kind of throws off your your sleeping cycle. I mean, if you like me, every now and then you like to watch a little movie and drink wine and then fall asleep and go to bed, don't do that every day. But you know, you might have to come up with that. Like I have the downtime thing on my phone where at 9 o'clock, all my notifications get shut off except for like a couple of them. And just make sure I go to sleep and it tells me to go to bed. I ignore it every day, but I know it's there. So when I see it, it's like, okay, we got to start winding it down. You just got to create a new rhythm. That's all.
I would love to have a nighttime routine. I think the only thing that's difficult for me is that I'm always on standby, if you will. Like sometimes I'll get a random call from work and it'd be 10:30. I'm like, what? What is it? What do you need right now? Unless something is on fire, what is it?
I think your do not disturb is going to be very helpful for you. I
I
literally,
need a doctor's note. Like, she can't do it.
I mean, you might shoot. I know for me, I had to start creating boundaries because now that I'm on a different time zone, I'm not going to be texting at 12 o'clock a.m. I wasn't texting at 9 o'clock p.m. West Coast time because it's like, unless it is an emergency, like, yes, I will reply. But if it's not and it's something that can wait till in the morning, I'm not dealing with it. Like, I
Yeah,
need,
like just because you might be up working and stuff, I'm not. So
yeah, that's why I said do not disturb is your best friend. I mentally unplug from working 7 o'clock. Like, I can't unless it's pressing, unless you say this needs to get done right now. No, like I can't. That's just the boundary that I had to set. And everybody has their own boundaries, but I'm not trying to go crazy because the minute I go crazy and snap, y'all done replaced me. So I gotta
yeah, she can handle it.
like seriously. The thing is, it's like we treat these jobs as if it's our end all be all. Like we are humans first and then employees. So it's like if I can't make sure Destiny the human can show up for herself every day, I can't show up to be Destiny the employee. And if you can't understand there's certain things that I need to take care of for me to make sure I'm good, then this is not the partnership for us. Period. So
Agreed.
I'm like, bye. I mean, you can't really say bye right now in a pandemic, but in general, I mean, if you can, if you got it like that, if you got jobs lined up, say bye to whoever you want to, okay?
Like to send an email to everybody. Hey, so yeah, the Wi-Fi in my whole building has been cut off, so I'm gonna have to.
The Wi-Fi in my whole building.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi in my entire building. Like, can you go to pandemic? Can't go to Starbucks or the library. So I'm just kind of stuck.
That actually happened to me earlier in the pandemic. I was like, man, that was a nice day because like there was so much that I was very limited. Like the Wi-Fi, my power went out. So I was like, I can't be on this phone because if emergency happens. I need my phone. I rested that day. I mean, I replied to text messages that I needed to, and emails like that came through on my phone, but that's a good day. I just need a day to unplug. I literally just saw this tweet. It said, this 4-day weekend or 5-day weekend has taught me that I don't need to work for the rest of the year. I said, yes.
Girl.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. During the weekend, there were moments where I sat there and I was just like, there's no emails coming in. Like, I don't even know. There's just nothing. No one's calling me to send them anything. It was such a weird feeling. I was just like, I haven't felt this in a while.
It felt like I was human for once because I feel robotic most of the time. I feel like it's like, dude, let's get to Friday, okay? Then it's like by the time you get to Sunday, you feel kind of unraveled, where you're like, but then it's like, okay, Monday, do it all over again, and yeah, something got to change. I can't live like this anymore. I can't.
Yeah, like I literally felt it was like, I feel like I'm like on a dial, like every day, like there's moments of the day where like my anxiety and stress, it just increases. And then like over the break every day, it was just turning down and I was starting to feel normal again. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night came and it was just like,
I started not freaking out, but I said to my mom, I was like, it's Monday, come in again. This was Thursday that I said this. I said this on Thursday because I knew this moment of relief would not last very long. Like I knew my phone would be blowing up at some point soon. And it's like this looming feeling And I think that's a thing. Like, it's like some sort of anxiety that
Yeah, it's an anxiety thing.
I'm just like, we all are not okay. And we're not. And I, it's rough. And then I don't think people take into account too for the people who live by themselves. Like, I thought about this morning. I was like, I literally have had limited contact with human beings for the last literally like 9 months. From March 13th, I flew in here November 16th. That's literally 8 months. Is that 8 months? Yeah, 8 months and some change. That already takes a toll on you anyways, because you're with you all day. All day, every day. You can't get a hug if you need a hug. Like, you don't want to be calling everybody out the blue just because you feel lonely because everybody else got their own stuff to go through. Or if you're frustrated with work, you can call somebody, but it's not the same thing as like, oh girl, let's just go get mani pedis and relax. Or it's hard. And I don't think people realize that.
Yeah.
It's so freaking hard. And then it's hard to be stuck with people. Like, I don't care what nobody say, they husband and whoever. I know you get tired of them. I know you do. Like, there's no way you're like, oh my God, every day I get to be underneath my husband, and every day I love my wife, I get to be there, or my man, or whoever it is. It's like, I know y'all tired of each other.
Yeah.
I know. Like, this is not made for an extended period of time. This was fine, those 2 weeks, that month that we did this. But to expect people to crank out work and to go harder is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I agree.
So
1000%.
I'm just, me and Jesus got closer though during this time, because that's the only person I could talk to if I'm in
Hey, that's good. You had somebody. You had him.
I'm like, I can't call my mama all the time. And even now it's like we're in the same house. And I can't really talk to her because why? I'm on Zoom all day. Like, it's like, oh, I'll see you later. It's like, what happened to family time? I at least got some of that before.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm over it. I need Jesus to come already. Anyways.
Honestly, I'm telling you, I think the rapture happened.
I did not get left behind.
We've been left.
I refuse to believe I got left behind.
Because this is not this. Mm-mm.
I did not get left behind. I didn't.
I don't know. This is hell on earth. I don't know.
He did say things would get worse before they got better.
Shoot, how much worse? Cause
like Revelations, that book, things got toe up before it got better.
Okay, well, I think we've reached the threshold here. I think we're good.
Honestly,
ready for the better.
I could just go on all day about what I'm ready for. I'm tired. Like, I never felt, I feel like I'm about to cry. I really am about to cry. I never felt, what's the Tamla Man song? Take Me to the King until this year.
In every sense, and every, I have felt that song in every adaptation of it.
Like, yo, my eyes are actually getting teary. I feel Tamla. Like, I thought I needed that song to help me get through college when the papers was hitting. I would take 5 papers due in a week, which I've done it before, than this. 5. Like, Tamla, show me how you got taken to the king, because this is not it. I'm tired. That first line, truth is I'm tired. Are you tired? Yes.
Because my options are few.
My options are few. Help. Help. God.
Can't even say I'm all churched out. Can't even go.
The funny thing about it is I'll be watching 3 church services on Sunday. Like, help. Help. Oh, I didn't do my tithe. I need to do that. But yeah, like,
I feel like that song and that Janae song, Born Tired.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be trying to smoke. When I be stressed, I listen to that song.
Oh, yeah. It's like, that's good. It's like you're getting high, but just off the music.
It makes me feel better, that song. It's just the music. She's like, if I was high.
She has a lot of science behind her music with her last album. She used different, she's all about your chakras and different things. And every single song, she uses the Tibetan singing bowls, but she uses different notes for every song to induce different feelings.
So that's why I feel high. I mean, I ain't never really.
Yes,
but
it's done on purpose.
Let me play that song every day then.
Right. She literally had her last album for healing. She's like, if certain songs, she plays different notes for you to feel a certain way. It's like, she's like, there's some of the songs you can hear it more, and on some of them it's subtle, but it's there to invoke a feeling in you. I was like, I could see that.
When I listen to Trying to Smoke, like, it's just like a release. And, yeah, like, I just be like, oh, yes. Like, I literally feel light. Thank you, Janae.
She was really looking out for us. She said, I'm not just gonna make you guys some beats. I want to make you feel it to your literal core.
I feel it. Like, when I am at that breaking point, I listen to that song. It's just a vibe, first of all. But like, I just be like, if I was high, I would probably never come down.
Janae, I've been a fan of her since day one, but I've always really resonated with the feeling of her music. And then to find out that like it's legit on purpose, it's like she don't get enough credit. She literally is healing people. She's a whole doctor, like
Dr. Janae Aiko.
Like a doctor or something.
This album actually made me a fan of hers. Like, I have actually seen her perform, and I was like, oh, okay. When she had the song with Drake, what is that song? From Time.
Mm-hmm. And that's not a good indication of her.
Well, that was like my
features aren't really like.
Yeah, that was like my first time kind of like hearing her, and I was like, okay. But then when I went to the tour and she was there, he brought her out. I was like, okay. And then I tried to listen to another song. I think my dad had told me about some song. Sativa. She has some song named after weed. Is it like Sativa or something like that?
She does have a Sativa song.
Yeah, and he was like, I like this song. And I was looking, I said, oh, it's called Sativa. Okay. And I was like, huh. But then I tried to listen to an album and I was not a fan until this album. So
I like her. This album, I feel like, was the most comprehensive album that she's done. But I like all of her projects, but I tend to really like the angry songs. She used to have a lot of angry songs.
And that's what I heard. And I was like, this just don't sound right to me.
Some angry like freestyles, and those were like my favorite songs. Like, she has a song called Comfort In. The first line is, I thought I told you not to trust these hoes. And I was like, I like you. Okay. It's a great song.
I'm sure. I'm very, very
one of my favorite songs. You should listen to it.
I'll try it sometime. But
it's a little bit angry. You just want to lean into it.
What is my angry song? I feel like everybody has a song when they're mad. They're like, ugh, let me listen to this song. I like, don't laugh. Chloe and Hallie.
Nothing by them invokes anger.
No, like, it doesn't invoke anger. It just helps me to release. Do It is, that's the one. That's the one. I think that is the one. And then the other one, there's another song. Whenever I'm like feeling frustrated, I'm like, let me just listen to it. I can't remember. Dang, that whole album is a whole mood anyways. So there's that. All the haters out there. Let's see. Baby girl is the other one. I feel like they supported me.
Oh yeah, I like that song. I was singing that song to my niece.
Yeah, like baby girl, it's your world. I like that. I like to feel supported because, you know, when I was spending those 8 months by myself, who was supporting me? Who hugged me at night? Me. Me. Okay. Me. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We gonna get through this. I no longer feel the magic of like New Year's Day. Like, what that gonna do? We still got a pandemic.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, 2021." I'm like, huh? It's just gonna roll over into 2021. Like, there's so much unresolved business. There's no like optimism for 2021. I'm just like,
We're here. I'm alive. Like, I feel like those people who always tweet around New Year's Day, y'all talking about, oh, new year, new me, but y'all still got issues from last year. I'm like, I feel like those people. Oh, we still got the issue.
somebody got the new year, new me this year. I'm gonna lose it.
Ain't no new
It
nobody.
didn't bother me. I used to didn't care. I'm like, you want to restart, go ahead. But if you say new year, new me this year, we lived very different lives. Where were you?
I want to know what kind of life they lived because
Like, new year, new me.
I mean, I do feel like a different person from the beginning of the year to now. I feel like I've aged.
Yeah.
Like, and I saw an article, I didn't read it, but I saw like a clip from an article. It was saying that a lot of millennials feel like they've aged over the course of the year. Like, whether it's like physically, mentally, like emotionally, like I feel old, well, not old, but like I don't feel my age. Like, I don't feel youthful. Like,
No, there's nothing useful. I already was an old lady, and now I'm like, I need to check myself into a senior citizen home. Like at this point, I'm just like,
I'm ready to get
there was
married. That's where
fun.
I'm at. I'm over it. I'm like this youthful. Oh yeah, like I'm young. I can do whatever I want. No, where's a husband? Where's a house? Where's things that equal stability? I used the word talking to one of my friends. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to settle down. I said, settle. Who? Settle down? Who says that? Who?
I
Yeah.
don't know, but something's got to give. I just need some good news. I need somebody to tell me like, well, at least we get to bloop doop doop, or at least such and such is happening, or at least we're gonna go to, or at least then this, and then that.
I'm not even excited about babies anymore. When people have pregnancy announcements, I'm like, join the club. Y'all was up here boop bop and booing the whole time. Join the rest of the roster.
When
I
life
ain't excited
somehow
no more.
resumes, when life somehow resumes to just regular, there's gonna be a whole lot of boop bop doop bop bam bam because
All the pent up energy.
what you trying to do? Bet, let's go.
Well, you need to know them first. Let's don't just be. Oh, okay. Like no, we still need standards. We still
I'm
need.
just kidding. I meant that in like a like down for whatever. Like you want to go, you want to drive to Vegas? Let's go. You want to go to I don't even know. Let's do it.
I I'm coming out a shooter, and we not like shooting people shooter. So let me not.
Some people might.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean, I'm shooting shots at everything. And I don't mean in men. I mean, like, when it comes to just what I want, like, life, like, that's one thing that has put things into perspective for me this year is the fact I'm like, there's things that I want to do. If I don't get a chance to do them, God forbid I die in the pandemic or die in general, would I be happy knowing that I didn't even go after the things I wanted to do?
Yeah.
No, that's the answer. No. So I'm like, this acting, writing thing, I just got to turn it up. I got to turn it up. I cannot be a slave to employment Meaning, because if I constantly frame like my dreams and, well, I gotta work, like obviously you need to work, period. But I can't let that be the hindrance of going after things that I want to do. Because looking back in the past, like even though the past year, not 2020, but like 2019, I've had opportunities present themselves. Even at the top of the year too, opportunities present themselves, but I was like, well, what about work? And it's like, bruh, if this is an opportunity to do what you want to do, jump, leave, figure the rest out later. Like, I'm not somebody who's gonna let myself sink.
Yeah.
So I would have figured out something. So I'm tired of being like, well, what about work? No, go after what you want. Work will always be there. Well, not necessarily, but you know what I mean? Like, the dream is not all, opportunities come, and sometimes they're once in a lifetime, and you don't know that until you take it. So,
It's true. I feel like I have always really overly prioritized work because that's what I thought I was supposed to do.
mhm.
And I've always been, and that goes from schoolwork to actual like work. I've always over prioritized it in my life. And this year, like over the past few years, I've noticed, but like this year especially, like I've noticed that like it's not everything. Work is not going to do anything for you besides give you money.
Mhm.
And I realized that money isn't a motivator for me anymore, like at all. It's like great, cool. Like like sometimes I'm like, man, I'd like if I had some job that legit was like, cool, this is great, and they weren't paying me as much, I'd rather take that and have my sanity.
No, 100%. I'm exactly in that same place. I think I've never been driven by money, first of all. That's never been a thing for me. Not to say like, oh, I got money. It's just like I've always wanted to be um passionate about what I do. And I haven't been in that position where my passions and my line of work line up. Which I'm like, hey, that's not terrible, because you may not get to that 100%, like this is your passion with a job. But at the same time, I'm like, have I cheated myself in some aspects of some of the jobs I've chosen to do in the past? Like, I think sometimes we think like, oh, well, it's close to it, or this could possibly lead me to this and that. And that is true in some cases. Like, sometimes your jobs can lead you to an open door, but sometimes I think we shrink ourselves. Like, well, this is just close enough.
I think that too, but I also think that hindsight is always 2020, and when you're in your early 20s, you don't have a blueprint. You're trying to figure it out. So you're going to have to work jobs, and you're going to have to be involved in activities and projects and social events and stuff that you may not want to do, but you know that it's going to help you somehow. It's going to teach you what you don't want.
And that's a big lesson in itself.
Yeah, like I've learned a lot about things that like I don't want based off of things I've done. So it's like it wasn't all in vain because it's like it
Mhm.
you know what you want now.
And that, I think that's super duper duper important, because people focus on like, what do you want? And it's like, you can't really know what you want sometimes until you experience, like you said, what you don't want. So if you've experienced a boss who is micromanaging or always doing crazy stuff, when I'm looking for that next job, let me try to get to know these people a little bit better in the interview, or let me do my research. Or if I see the signs of this in the next boss that I have, maybe it's time for me to look for something else. Like, you know, definitely, like, I don't mean to make anybody's experience seem smaller, like they're just choosing things just because. It's just, I think sometimes we get comfortable, and it's like, well, this is okay enough. Like, if you take working in entertainment, there's 50 million different types of jobs you can do in entertainment. And most of the people you come across who work in some aspect of it, a lot of times they aren't exactly 100% where they want to be. because you'll meet people who want to be directors and like they're the receptionist or whatever. And I think just in our industry in particular, what keeps people going and what sometimes keeps people stuck is like this glimmer of hope. Well, maybe if one day we uh Steven Spielberg just walks in and I have to check him in and then now I got that connection. It's like you got to be realistic, and that could happen. That very well could happen. I know
You
people.
will see Steven Spielberg.
You will, but you,
At some point, you're gonna see him.
you're gonna see him. But I think in our industry, we hold on to this hope that there's just going to be some magical moment because we're in this job or in this particular position or in this place that's just going to shoot us off into the exact pathway that we want to do. And I don't think we take ownership of how much we have to play in our journey. Like I feel like I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, yeah, I took this job because like I felt, you know, I was hoping like I could make this connection and that connection. And then they leave and they ain't make no connection. They've been there for 4 years. And now I'm like, what about your short film? Yeah, I'm still working. Sir, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've slowly become one of those people. And I'm like, stop it. Like I really am not saying that out of a place of judgment. It's just out of like warning for anyone listening who kind of feels like, you're not where you want to be. You may be helping people do the things that you want to do. I think that is one of the worst feelings in the world. To know that you cannot do what you want to do and you're helping someone else do it. It's just
That's why a lot of people choose to work for themselves.
right. But I'm telling you from experience, it hurts because you'll be like, bruh, I could be doing this. But then you come up with a whole list of excuses. Well, I got to pay the bills. Well, I got to do that. These are all valid things, but you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out. If you really want to go hard about it, you're going to figure it out. And I thought people were heartless when they said that, but no, it's the truth. Like, you go make something, whether that means you don't get as much sleep, but you go do it.
One of the best pieces of advice that I heard, and this is the only thing that's probably keeping me sane, is from Jaleel White. People who don't know who Jaleel White, that is Steve Urkel. Now, I had the privilege of meeting him.
He's so cute.
I don't know if it was early this year or late. I think it might have been late last year, like December or something. January or December. And he was basically saying, because he's had an amazing career, but his career started very early.
Mm-hmm.
And so his career is different than most people's paths because he was a child star for his whole childhood. Like he was a child star. He was a huge child star. And he said by the time he made it until his 20s and stuff, Family Matters was going off the air. And that's when he decided to dive more into behind the scenes. He wanted to direct, he wanted to produce, he wanted to write, he wanted to do those jobs, but they always looked at him like he was a child. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I have had more entertainment working experience than my bosses, than anybody who's been here, but I'm still getting treated like this. So he was like, it sucked. And I had to do jobs. Like I've had 15 plus years of experience in my life acting and working on set. And I know how to run a whole set. Like I've been doing this my whole life, but I didn't get the respect that I deserved because of my age. And he was saying that for his whole 20s, he was like, look at your 20s. Your 20s are your years of service. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how much you bring to the table, what it is, you're going to have to do jobs you don't want to do. You're going to have to kind of just assume the position of everything is a learning opportunity. It's your years of service. You're helping somebody else's career for your 20s. By the time you reach your 30s, that's when the roles kind of reverse and people are now helping you with your career. Like some other person in their 20s is helping you. So he was like, you just have to get through your whole 20s are your years of service. And I'm like, I really felt that because I'm like, I feel like it really is. Like I'm nearing the end of my 20s, but I feel like my whole 20s have been years of service for other people and other people's dreams and other people's things. So I'm hoping that he's right and like my 30s things will turn. But I was like, that's really telling for somebody who went from being at the top of the food chain as a child star, like, and then to enter your 20s and people treat you like the intern, like that must suck.
Well, one side of it is he was talent. So
But to go from talent and like being super respected and stuff to going from like, oh, but you don't really know how this works. And he's like, I've been doing this.
yeah, but it's like he hadn't built up a rapport of behind the scenes. So like I get what he's saying. Like I know what it's like. I know how the set is moving and shaking. But you're seeing that from a talent point of view. Talent point of view is always going to be so different than the
I
behind.
get that, but I do understand the age thing.
Yeah, people treat you. I get called a baby, and I'm like, first of all, babies
But
don't.
your experience, they don't even look at your experience, they look at your age first.
Right.
And so it sucks if you're really qualified for something, but they're like, oh, but you're too young, or oh, this and oh, that. Your idea, they don't consider your ideas as much.
Right. And I kind of think of that. I'm like trying to digest everything he's saying because I don't 100% agree. Like I do think there's a point no matter what career you're in that you are going to be learning from underneath someone by helping them. Yes. But I don't think to say your 20s are just that. I don't agree with that because like you said, the fact that he had all this knowledge coming in at his 20s and nobody respected him simply because of his age, thinking, well, you're 20 something, you're supposed to be the intern. That doesn't sit well with me. And
I
I
mean,
think,
it's not right. I mean, it's not right, but that's what happens.
well, yeah, no. And that's why I said I disagree to an extent. It's like, yeah, that's the system that we're in, but you got to fight against the system too. Like, yeah, you play the game a little bit. You play just to see how the land and the landscape is. But at some point, you have to make the decision, are you going to move forward on your own and
Yeah.
put towards what you want to do? Because I could say all day, okay, well, I'm 20, blah, blah, blah. I guess I'm just being assistant till I'm 30 because they don't respect my opinion. I'm like, do you know how many assistants are geniuses? Like they could run circles around their boss or could show them how to do their job better. Not telling them that they know how to do their job, but can bring more effective skills to a department, but people don't respect it because that's just the assistant or that's just the
Right. And they look at your experience. When it comes to like being assistant and stuff, they look at your track record. If you don't want to be an assistant for a long time, you have to get out of it because you're not going to get another job.
nope.
They're going to be like, okay, well, you were an assistant for like 6+ years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be. But you want to now become a manager or a VP or something, and you have to show the progression. Like, unless somebody hands you a job and really like believes in your talent that you work for and promotes you up, it's hard for you to just go somewhere and get a job based off of just that title alone, no matter how much work you did.
Yep. I can't.
So you really kind of got to map out and play your cards right, because you can love what you're doing and everything, but if you do have a goal of being an executive somewhere, you got to get out of that role
Yep.
quickly.
That's the thing, like that scares me when looking at entertainment because I know people who were assistants in their 30s. And I'm like, you've been with this same boss since you were an intern? And they never thought, they've been working with me. Maybe I should promote them. And it's like, that's scary to me. As a woman who wants to be independent, and I don't mean independent like I don't need a man independent, but it's like I want to be able to provide for myself. I want to become a homeowner. I want to become a mother. I cannot be fetching somebody's coffee every day for the next 10 years. Like, I cannot. So, yeah.
But
It's
you do have to go through it. You have to go through that because you do learn a lot and you learn what you're not going to do.
know who you work for that you learn a lot. Because some people literally
Yeah.
see an assistant role as you do what I say when I say to do it, how I say to do it, and teach you nothing about the department that you're in.
Yeah.
And I think that does a disservice to them, the person working. Um, and the person who hired them or who they're working for, they're really doing a disservice to themselves because you can really help people grow. I think that's what it's about. And I know it's a common thing that people talk about. They're like, well, why does it seem like people aren't as willing to give you information, willing to, like, not saying give somebody a job, but like just to understand? Like, you could be working for these people and not have any sort of relationship,
Hmm.
which is trash.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
If you want to keep your assistant, you need to develop a relationship.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not saying everybody got to kiki and hang out every weekend, but
Treat them like they're almost your equal. Like, you know what I mean?
like, what do you think
But and another tip for people who are listening, if you ever have to interact with someone's an assistant to, I mean, with anybody in entertainment, but if you are interacting with someone's assistant to get to their boss for whatever reason, treat that assistant with so much respect, because back when I used to have to do it, like, if I was ever met with people who are really rude or really pushy or this or that or not communicative and trying to help me do my job because you want to meet with my executive and do stuff, you know what I mean, with our department or whatever, I will put you on the back burner so fast. You will become like, yeah, you're going to get your meeting, but if something better comes along, you're getting pushed. You have to come through me to get to her. So if you come at me incorrectly, I'm sorry, but she's busy. Yeah, no, that's not gonna work either. They'd be like, oh man, but I got a doctor's. Yeah, so I would circle back. Let's circle back. Like, do not come at me sideways because I'm real petty and you will not get your meeting when you want it. I'm the gatekeeper. I tell her what's on the calendar. Don't be mean to the assistant. Treat you you need to butter the assistant up, send them things, give them compliments, do all of the above, because as the assistant, and I'm sure you can agree, it feels good to know that your job is valued and your time is valued, so you're going to perform better. You're going to tell your executive, like, hey, so and so really wants to meet with you. You know, you're going to continuously push them to meet with this person or something, but if that person is rude to you,
yep, like, bye.
I will not answer the phone. I calls. Per my last email, they are not available. Don't call my phone. Like, I'm so serious. Like, do not screw over the assistant.
Yeah, a lot of people overlook the assistants. They're like, well, they're just an assistant. I'm like, do you realize the
You
people
don't have that executive's direct number. You have my direct line.
that too? But then too, it's like, if you're some big shot celebrity, who do you think in the next 5-10 years, when you're still wanting to work, who might be the gatekeeper for that opportunity?
This is true.
Like, there's people that I've met over my time between interning, yeah, over interning, that I'm like, yeah, no.
Never forget how somebody made you feel. You never forget it.
I will never, this unnamed celebrity was meeting with the person that I was interning for. And uh, I greeted them, did all that, whatever. I was like, do you need anything? Coffee, water, tea, the usual stuff. And he just basically like blew me off. And I was just like, okay, so do you want anything? He's like, oh, just get tea with lemon and honey. I'm like, how many, or not honey, with sugar. I'm like, so how many pack? Just was not helpful. Cause usually people like 2 sugars. Like, okay, cool. I go and make it. I bring it to him. Here you go. I'll let you know when they're ready for you. Oh, thanks, whatever. I'm like, okay. It wasn't until when it was time for that meeting and the person I was interning for was like, oh, Destiny, come sit in the meeting. He would be all nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
When you find out, oh, you have some say so in this.
right. And so when we leave, he's like, oh, how did you know how to make the tea? Did you Google insert name here is favorite tea? was like, for somebody who's supposed to be a comedian, you sure ain't funny. I didn't say that, but
You should have. And then laughed and walked away.
I was just like, no. Have a good day. You need your parking validated. Want to be all nice to me then. I'm like, sir, you don't know. I actually had somebody ask me once. I can't remember what I was doing, but they asked, they said, were they nice to you when they came in? They asked, were they nice to you? To me. So had I been like, nah, he was blah, 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 I don't know what that could have happened.
Yeah, I've had executives have asked me certain like things like, hey, when you met so and so, like what was the vibe like or what was like, they actually will ask you sometimes. And I always give my honest opinion because I don't want you or us working with trash people. So I'm gonna tell you, no, they were rude, they did X, Y, and Z.
Because they forget. They really forget. Like some of these celebrities and these execs who work at other places, they forget that you're human too. They will act like you're not there. I remember I met this one person, this rapper, shall remain nameless. I was with anybody. I'm like, oh hey, how you doing? Gonna help you, blah blah blah. I get to where the meeting's taking place. This man, I'm like, first of all, you ain't had a single since 2007. So so why are you acting like I'm over here fangirling? I'm literally, hey, how you doing? Reach out my hand. I'm Destiny, da 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 da. The usual. I'm like, sir, then you got your entourage. Your entourage.
I love an entourage. The entourage, I have had my fair share of experiences with entourages. I can't stand them, but they're funny, especially like rappers and stuff. Like their entourages are hilarious because the people in the entourage, there's always a few stragglers. There's tiers to your entourage, right? There's some people that are really close to the talent, and then some people who are the stragglers. The stragglers are always super nice.
Yep.
And they try to be real nice to the network, the production company, whatever it is, because they're trying to hold on to their position in the entourage. But they're always super nice. But they might do something a little strange. They might get weird vibes from them because they're trying to secure their spot. Yeah. They be real nice to you.
You just be like, why are you this nice?
They're trying to keep that spot. They're trying to hold tight to that spot because they don't really have a legit job in the entourage. They just kind of there. So they will do anything to maintain that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
It's crazy. This world of entertainment, whew, sometimes
I've gotten some phone calls and stuff way after the fact. Hey, how you do? Like,
oh,
yeah, this so-and-so's t-shirt designer. Yeah, how
have the t-shirt.
And I see them later. Hey, what's as if we're cool. Hey, what's up? Blah blah blah. Like, remember when we? And I'm just like,
when we.
Oh God. No, not that.
I love this. When we touch. Oh God.
Good old Tank.
Yeah. The more I get into this industry, the more I'm like, girl, is this what you want to do? Is this what you want to do? Is it? Like,
the deeper you get in, the more just trash you see. You're just like, should not have met this person, or like, you just ain't that great.
Oh yeah. The worst is when you meet a celebrity that you're like, oh, they look so nice on TV. They always do these like, and then you meet them and you're like, bruh, are you Satan's spawn?
I always love when it's the opposite, where I'm always like intimidated, like, oh, this is not about to go well. And they're great. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've only had one case of meeting a celebrity and they were exactly the way I thought they were. So I wasn't like offended. I was just like, like she wasn't mean, but she wasn't pleasant. Where I was like, oh yay, this is so great. You need anything? It was just like, oh No. I'm like, oh, okay.
I really, really thought that Angela Rye was going to be stuck up. Like because she has such a commanding presence. You know, you see her on CNN, you see her on Instagram, she be going off on people, and I'm like, oh, this is about to be a nightmare. She's great. She is very commanding. She knows what she wants. She's assertive, but she's smart and she's super nice. Like of course, if she will call you out if something is wrong, but she'll also call you out if something is great. Like she's a very pleasant person to work with.
I'm glad she surprised you.
She really did, because I was really bracing myself. Like, this about to be some about to have a power struggle here. But she was great.
That's exciting. And we don't say all this to discourage anyone who's thinking about the entertainment field.
Thick skin, folks. It ain't easy.
It isn't, and I wish people would actually have transparent conversations. Because of course we can't air out everything, because we trying to keep our jobs. But like, you know,
if somebody does you real dirty, air it out. Air it out.
Well, you need to not be employed by them first.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't employed by no particular celebrity.
I mean, you know, even the people who aren't employed, you remember how everybody was giving their Amanda Seales story on Twitter? That's all we're going to say about that topic. But yes.
I just find it funny how everyone has one. I just want to say that. It's just weird. It's weird.
Look.
Literally everyone has a story. Like, if you work in the industry and you are Black and you are under the age of 35, you have a story.
Like, I was reading those stories. Even non-entertainment people had stories. Which I was like, how?
If you are at all entertainment adjacent, you got a story. How does this happen to one person? Right? Like, you look in the mirror every day and be like, okay, is it me? Like, you had to. At some point, you had to. Because if not...
Yeah. That was an interesting day, or however long that lasted. I was like,
that lasted a while.
Because usually people are hush-hush about most of the mistreatment from like celebrity and celebrity adjacent people. And the fact that this all came out, I was like, she pissed off the rock.
Because you know what happened? First, you trigger somebody who just don't care and will spill the beans, and then it triggers somebody else who's like, you know what? That's really funny that happened to you, because it also happened to me. And then it's just a snowball effect.
Yikes. It was bad. And then what made it worse was that she got kicked out of Issa's party. No, she told the story of how she got kicked out of Issa's party. You remember that?
Yeah.
And
her own classmates were turning against her. That was the weirdest part. It was like, and the thing is, it's like, I know some of those people, and I'm like, they wouldn't lie about this.
I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about.
You know, they are actually really cool and down to earth and doesn't play that Hollywood stuff, so they wouldn't lie about this.
Super nice. I was surprised about that person you're talking about. I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah. They were like, you know what? Wrong is wrong. And I don't think it's going to cost me my job. So here we go.
That person did delete the tweet.
I don't think they should have deleted it. I don't think they should have deleted it.
From a PR standpoint, yes.
At this point, what's done is done. We can dig it. I could Google it and find it.
You could.
Nobody got it. When people delete tweets now, it's just like...
They screenshotted it, and I think Shade Room had it and all that stuff.
Everybody still got Baller Alert, I'm sure got it. Lipstick Alley got it. Everybody got it.
Everybody got it, but it's just different when it's just sitting on the profile at the time.
I don't know. I'm kind of more of a, like, if you didn't say anything to like harm somebody or disrespect somebody, I said what I said. Because he or she still stands by what they said. Right? I bet you if you asked them today, they'd still be like, yeah.
Look, that's none of my business.
It is when it happens to us.
Look, we are leaving this alone.
Have you ever been personally victimized by Amanda Seals? Raise your hand.
No.
Anybody you know, have you or anybody you love been victimized by Amanda Seals? It's like Mean Girls, but it's just one girl. Everyone got a story, whether it happened to you or someone you know personally.
I got not recent story, but somebody told me a story recently. I was like, wow.
I have heard the worst. Oh, God, how can you be so intelligent and so just
some people miss social cues sometimes, or just don't care.
Just the victimization of it all, and it's always just coming down on Black women and this and that. No, bro, you just rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, literally rubbing people.
Oh, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
just touching people the wrong way. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Stop.
Couldn't be me.
Anyway, y'all, I think it's about time to wrap it up. So yeah, we hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope this last month of the year starting out right for you. And thank you for
even though we just complained for a whole hour. We gave thanks on Thursday, okay? It's over.
We said we were thankful. It's just right now, life is stressful. Two things can exist at once.
True.
Two things. So, if y'all need to vent, send us a voice memo. I don't know. We can air it.
If you have an Amanda Seals story, you can share that too.
No. That is not what this platform is for.
Send it to the DMs.
I mean, if you want to send it to the DM, I'm not airing it, but that will stay there if that is what you choose to do. I am not inviting you to do that, but if that's what you choose to do, I can't. So anyways, thank you for hanging out with us this week. Make sure to let us know your thoughts. If you need to just air out your grievances, do it. Do it sometimes. And you can drop it in our comment box. You can drop it in our DMs. You can drop it wherever you're listening. And make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you 5-star, all of that good stuff. And follow us on Instagram at I Just Think It's Funny _pod. And we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.
Bye.